Hey guys, I'm back, and this is a little project I've been working on. Honda Odyssey go-kart. Ignore the front bumper. I like weld it fast with no welding gas. Yeah, my mistake. Didn't even realize I was out of gas, so I went and picked up some flux core and finished off my cage. This chain here comes around here. Pretty much just keeps me from bouncing out, even though it's hard to bounce out of this thing. But yeah, these pieces, like that piece right there came from an existing part. This is part of a lawnmower handle cage. This is the same material this was. That was a whole bumper guard off of the back of a golf cart. That's actually part of the brakes of a Yamaha Exciter that I parted out. Believe it or not, that's not the belt out of that Yamaha Exciter that I had. Jeremy Lee knows that Yamaha Exciter, but this is the belt that actually came with this whole thing. And the belt that came off the Yamaha is some off-brand. Tecumseh 8-horse. I chopped the ever-loving piss and welded it as fast as I could. Leaks like a sieve, but I'll make it pretty one day. But yeah, there's no bafflinger in there anymore. It's just straight up into a glass pack, which was pre-filled with motor oil, so it'll burn out a little faster. It's actually fairly quiet. I wasn't expecting it to be that quiet. I was expecting it to be loud because I had this on the end of a pipe on a Model 28 overhead valve Briggs, and oh my god, I just about went deaf. Yeah, I was having carb issues, so I took the belt off, just simply pulled it up off the pulley, or off the driver end of the clutch, and the whole clutch assembly has come apart. I'm also missing a spring now. My bad. I should have just removed my bolt and taken the damn thing off, but now I'm in need of a whole new clutch. Whoops. I don't know. I am tempted to remove this, which getting this movement was a pain in itself because there's a gear reduction in there. There's a gear down in here in the center of it, and there's a fixed gear on the shaft which turns two gears on one shaft in the center of it, which turns a gear which actually rotates on this shaft. Sounds like a lot of room for heat for me. I was about to delete the gear reduction, which I gotta go in and put new seals in, which kind of sucks because it leaks like a freaking sieve. But yeah, I'm actually tempted to buy a torque converter, throw it on there. I'll chop this off as best as I can, remove this whole deal. I'll put just a regular brake, or I'll try to see if I can use the same brake disc. I'll have to find a way to fix it to a sprocket on the shaft, but I know I gotta get in metric, because a lot of this whole unit is metric. Honda. Leave it to Honda. Glass pack, exhaust tip off of a TA, and a coffee can to keep the rain out. Throttle is not hooked up. I do not have any carburation, but the throttle was all seized up. The brake shaft, it was missing the little arm on the end, so I converted it to here. And I have the switch in case I ever do run lights of any sort. I'm also tempted to go with a centrifugal clutch. Just do away with this centrifugal clutch and I'll bolt a pulley to the end of the shaft. Of course, this bolt actually is a lawnmower block bolt, which it holds the block to the frame. Yeah. this whole drilling was done last summer when I really didn't make much for videos. But here we are. We're in, oh god, July 7th, I think. Yeah. I gotta see what I can do about getting that to work. But if I do a centrifugal clutch, I may end up just doing a alternator. I know for sure I want to do an alternator on this machine. If I do a centrifugal clutch, I'm tempted to do a chain drive on an alternator. And of course, there's my kill. If I do an alternator, I'll do a key switch up there, and I'll just, I don't know, put a bolt in there like I did here. I was trying to make a throttle bracket which came down to a Walbro carb I got off of a friend and lives, I believe, out in California. Yeah. Oh yeah. My project to complete by the end of high school. Oh my god, this thing is rough. But we have a monstrous V8. Now, there's a couple out there who know your GMs will instantly know this motor didn't come factory with the car. Because right in here, VIN number, it's an A code. The A code is a V6. I don't know about you, but if we have four spark plug wires on this side, that means there's going to be matching on the other side. So it's a V8 where V6 used to sit. Yeah. It's close to running. It's very close. I'm a radiator away. I'm going to try and find a radiator that'll fit, but I got to go through and completely redo this rad support. That's what bed frames are for. Yeah, that little pole sticking up, that's a piece of angle iron. That's bed frame. Oh man, that stuff works great. A little two-stroke out of a John Deere snowblower. Trying to get it to go. I don't know. It's just one of them things I'm kind of cobbling together. I'm trying to figure out my ignition issues. I put in an automotive condenser. Let's see if I can find that box. Yeah, threw in a standard condenser. See if anybody recognizes this. I know somebody out there in YouTube land who maybe watches my videos will know what carburetor this is. This carburetor actually is too much for that 8 horse. I can get the throttle to, say, maybe there before the engine starts to sputter. No, maybe right about there. And then the engine actually sputters and stalls. It's a good carburetor. I'll just leave him up there. Pretty little Walbro WB. It's actually pretty good carburetor. Over here is the gas tank that came off of that Odyssey. I just quickly pulled it off, set it aside. My massive Briggs parts and some snowmobile carb bodies. Oh well. Got all that in the deal. I feel like I got anally raped because I spent $200 on it and I couldn't fucking drive it. We had to tow it down the road. Damn near roasted the brakes. Just last night, I retapped the carb hole, or the where the emulsion tube goes. Put in a new emulsion tube. Now all I need to do is find a throttle shaft and butterfly for it, and this carburetor is fit to go on a mower. I have a motor already picked out. Problem? I don't have, or well, I have an intake. The only issue is somewhere along the lines of me storing this, it doesn't have the sleeves. So we're gonna find something to do with that, because it came off of that motor right there. A lot of you guys know I was starting the racing mower. This is what it looks like. And there's no connecting rod or any of that BS in it. The flywheel is on that Mammoth over there. I'll do a series on that. I'm gonna try and get that thing going by the end of the summer. In between getting this thing going, and you will see a video of this thing running, but I really want to know if any of you can tell me what that motor is. I already know what it is. See if you guys can figure it out. But as far as I can tell, the motor, it was just assembled fast with a ton of assembly lube. Oh. And all that strain is that I'm going through is just getting it past the valve springs. I still got my work planned for this. I am going to go through with this. Money's tight right now. 9-horse Briggs, 1932 23A. We got a cobbled up carburetor off of an International Harvester. Have no exhaust whatsoever. Well, the exhaust comes out about that far from the engine, so really it's 3 finger lengths. Not much of exhaust, and I'm still working on redoing the entire ignition coil, but I had the bottom end of the motor open. It looks really clean, aside from the sludge in the oil pan, which I did thoroughly wash. Don't try to pick one of those up with a bad knee. I can tell you that much. Yeah. Whole new assortment of tools, a Matco toolbox, and a whole range between Snap-on, Chicago Pneumatic, mainly on the air tool side, Snap-on, Matco, Craftsman, and a couple other Chinese tools that was used to make new tools. My grandpa was crafty, meaning if he needed a socket and didn't have the wrench for it, or if he just needed an extension on the socket for something, he was bound to make it. And sure enough, he made it. None of those welds were really well, there is some grinding on them, but leave it to my grandpa to do something that most other people don't have the balls to do. I mean, seriously, mechanic for, 20 some odd years. That was once his toolbox he gave to my mother. Yep. Put an amp up there. It does work every now and then, but the bass has to hit hard. I mean, it's got to hit hard in order to set that amp off, so it'll probably go in this. As you see there, I was working on fixing a transmission issue. I think some of the factory linkages that have to work with the trans for, park. Normally, on a car, see if I can get the right key. Because normally, on a car, okay, your key's in on, and let's say you're driving. Well, you pull up to a stop, or you get pulled over, officer tells you to shut it off, and step out, and let's say you accidentally leave it in drive. You'd only get the key back only so far. I've since disconnected all that because that trans wouldn't go all the way into park for some reason. And let me tell you something, pulling these columns apart, I really wish I had the tools to do it. That was a backbreaker. There's a little arm down there. Not sure if you're going to be able to see it. I know I can't really see it from here. It's mainly just a reach down in there, hope nothing bites you, and try to find the arm, but you have to pull up on it, and if you hold it up, you won't be able to turn the key, or you do whatever, the key locks itself. So it comes up a little bit, and you just let it rest, and it'll do whatever. Behind in the carburetor fueling this pig, you have to tell me what kind of motor it is, though. You gotta comment and tell me what kind of motor is this motor. But it's still fueled by the original Rochester. And I will also tell you something. This motor family stopped in 1979. So if that ain't enough of a clue, then, well, I really don't know what is. As you can see, we deleted emissions. The intake, I just EGR blocked off because who needs EGRs? One PCV goes to the canister. This line I brought. I don't know what the hell this module is. I got a feeling it's got something to do with the speedometer. Not 100%. And this line here, which runs all the way up, it goes back to my gas tank. Clutch is actually really nice. It's, it's broken in. A new clutch, you got to put a lot of force into turning it, so running a new clutch on a high performance motor can send one of them fan blades flying, especially if you're doing, a lot of throttling. That's what these clutches are for, is when you're doing a lot of throttling. Like this clutch, it's stiffer than a wheel bearing. Wheel bearings are supposed to be thick like honey. It's like you put honey right in your bearings, Oh, damn it, I got that rotor locking up again. I can freely turn the wheel if I have a key in it and still, but that little Tecumseh 3-horse, that little Briggs 3-horse, that needs an intake. I do have the cowling and I have a muffler to put in it, but I'm going to go through and regasket the motor as well. Right there be the little snowblower. I ripped that little 2-stroke out. The house, it looks butt ugly. I don't have a 5th wheel in my driveway anymore. I don't have a little blue go-kart. I have that go-kart. I told you guys about a little race go-kart. Yep, never got around to doing a video. I traded that sumbitch. I was sick of it. We took down some trees. Fun. Way back there, you'll see a little black hood. I don't know if this phone zooms in. Yep, you can just barely see it. That is my off-road lawnmower. And deep in the weeds on this side is another mower, which that carburetor that I tapped out last night is going on. It's got a 28 cubic inch overhead valve, Briggs & Stratton. I will probably be using that intake. I will be using this carburetor and filter box. My only issue is I set it up for a catch can. I got to get some tubing to put a new catch can in because my other catch can was on that first mower that I showed you. And, let's say redoing the exhaust, I set my catch can on fire. Best not to use plastic, guys. Well, I see we're climbing up towards 20 minutes. You guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Let's play Guess Who on the motor. And if you guess it right, I'll tell you how many cubic inches that is. Because this thing came with a 243 3.8 liter. No, the 243 was a 4.3. Ah, shit. But it came with a 3.8 liter V6. Same displacement as that minivan. Yes, it's sad. I know. Talk to you later, guys. We'll see if you can guess what this is.